Welcome, everyone. Where are you tuning in from? Are you tuning in from the US, from Europe, from Asia, from South America, Africa? Good morning. Let me know what you're tuning in from. All right, Malaysia, Singapore, Switzerland, Australia, maybe, or New Zealand, Genevieve, Florida, Nigeria, Canary Islands, all around the globe. Welcome, welcome. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Joe from California. Joe, what time do you wake up to trade? Every single time I'm in California, I just struggle, and I can't get up at 3:30 a.m. for my New York session trades. What's your schedule like in California? Welcome, Wilmar, Maxie. Welcome, everyone, to our live trading non-farm payrolls session. Now, this is the biggest event of the month, and we're going to talk about it a lot. But there's a couple things I want to ask you, which is, what do you trade? Because, we want to make sure we touch on the things that you trade, the things that you are interested in learning to trade better. Do you trade Forex? Do you trade gold? Do you trade indices? Do you trade all of them? Dollar yen. Okay, Davey. 4 a.m. Cheryl. The problem is that 4 a.m. is actually late for our New York session trades, because I put on my New York session trades at 6:30. Thankfully, the Asia session trades are really the best trades, but 4 a.m. would almost be too late, and I don't think I don't even know if it would be truly effective, because my choices of when I trade is very selective. And it's kind of been honed through the test of time. So for those of you that are joining me for the very first time, if you're a first timer, do a wave. If you're a first timer, give me a wave, or say first timer in the chat. We're just starting off. So, I want to make sure that I get to know you. So let me know if you're a first timer. Thank you for telling me that, Esron, you trade Forex. Peter, Forex, and Peter, everything. Okay. All right. Just Trade, Davey, both first timers. And I think it's a really good time to talk about. And today is kind of really a really good example of knowing when to trade and knowing when not to trade. And if, whether you're a first timer or you've attended any of my live sessions, you will know I talk about this a lot, that a lot of the key to my own success is knowing when to trade and when not to trade. So this week, I have a 100 pip a week target when I trade Forex. And we hit our 100 pip a week target yesterday, pretty much just in 2 days of trading. And that's because, first off, I never trade ahead of non-farm payrolls. And I talked about how I trade the Asia Open and the New York Open. So I never trade ahead of non-farm payrolls because the market is just in consolidation mode. And let me show you how that is the right decision. And then we'll talk about how we're going to lay up for trading this week. But I'm going to share with you my screen. And this is my zip chart. And don't worry, if you're looking at this for the very first time, it's not exactly what I want you to see anyway. I just want you to look at price action. Usually, like I said, I trade the Asia session. So let's imagine I traded the Asia session last night, and I decided to, euro dollar, it's above the indicator line. It's in the green zone, which means that I should be buying. What would have happened if I bought this? Nothing, right? It didn't even move. It moves like maybe 5 more pips in my direction in the Asia session, dropped back down 10 pips, which was really nothing. I would have came in the New York session. Let's say I decide to trade the New York session. Yes, euro dollar is dripping lower, but the move isn't a lot. And you see that kind of mirrored in dollar yen. If I was trading the Asia session, oh my gosh, Kathy, 1, 2, 3, for those of you that know me, triple zip sell signals, which I love. 1 is good, 2 is better, 3rd is even the best. But if I took this trade, what would have happened? Bad move. It did not continue, and it rebounded against me and did absolutely nothing from 6 a.m. And that is why I am saying that knowing when to trade and when not to trade is so important, because no setup is 100%. The setup and the accuracy setup relies on the operator. And the operator in this case is the trader or me. And so, having traded my trading strategy for so long, I know that it's not fruitful at all. It's not worth it to trade ahead of non-farm payrolls the night before or the morning of, because this is what you get stuck in. You get stuck in no continuation, naturally losses, or you get stuck in now being exposed just to the data. So that is a lesson that I hope you take away. And that is the reason, if you are a member of our community, you'll see that, I have had no losing months since June 2023. And, we made 2 weeks last month that we made 100 pips. The other one was a little less. And this week we are already up 118 pips. It's not to gloat about my performance. It's to explain that's very logical and methodical. And also, when you don't lose money, you save money. And in some ways, not losing money is earning money. And so that is why not trading ahead of non-farm payrolls is so valuable. So that goes to today. What are we going to do? Well, we do not trade ahead of non-farm payrolls, although I'm slightly tempted to, and I'll explain to you why. When we trade non-farm payrolls, there's a couple of things that we have to be mindful of. The first thing that we have to be mindful of is what is expected. So let's go in the calendar and see. This is the easiest part, right? The market is looking for non-farm payrolls to growth to be slower. So the market is looking for weaker job growth, 111,000. They are also looking for the unemployment rate to increase to 4.3% and for average hourly earnings growth to slow. So overall, the market is anticipating weaker numbers. We're going to be trading after the data. The market, so, I'm kind of laying up the landscape, because remember, this is about creating a trading plan and following our trading plan. So I'm going to walk you through the trading plan. And I'm going to trade Forex first, and then Boris is going to come in and trade gold and indices. So you'll get all of it. But market is expecting weaker data all around. And if we look at some of the leading indicators for non-farm payrolls, usually I create a table, but honestly, I was very busy this week, so I didn't get a chance to. Some of the things that we look at is, for example, yesterday's ADP report. As you may or may not know, maybe you saw the headline, maybe you saw some of my tweets, maybe you saw other people's posts. This is the first drop in ADP since I think it was March of 2023. Maybe it was, they didn't have the revisions, but it's the first drop in the ADP in a very, very long time. So that is a red flag. That signals that we could see a drop in non-farm payrolls. Now, Challenger, they reported fewer layoffs. Okay, they reported fewer layoffs. So this, you could argue this is a wash, but not really. And then jobless claims comes out today. Usually it is on Thursdays, but remember, non-farm payrolls is Thursday this week because we have a holiday tomorrow. And where's the 4-week moving average jobless claims? This is, I'm going to go to the other, we're going to look at trading economics, which I think, which I use all the time to compare data. Give me a second, tradingeconomics.com. All right, and we're going to look at jobless claims. Here we go. 4-week average. 4-week average jobless claims. So 4-week average jobless claims are much higher this month than where they are last month. So we know that ADP is worse. 4-week jobless claims are worse. Continuing claims also. This is the highest level we've seen in continuing claims since November 2021. So I've got 3 fingers up. Continuing claims also very, very bad. Jolts is up. So, we've got 2 for good number, 3 for weaker number. Let's look at consumer confidence. Consumer confidence, Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index is stronger. So 3, Consumer Sentiment Index is stronger. Let's look at ISM, because we don't have ISM services this week because it's released after the NFP report. But ISM, the ISM was stronger, but the employment component was lower. So 4 reasons why non-farm payrolls could be weak. And we're going to look at one more thing, which is the Consumer Confidence Index. And the Consumer Confidence Index dropped sharply in June. So what do we know? We know that ADP is weaker. We know that ADP is weaker. I'm going to write this down here so you follow me. So weaker is ADP, ISM manufacturing jobs, jobless 4-week jobless claims, and then continuing claims, and consumer confidence. Now, stronger was the UMich, JOLTS, and Challenger. And the one question mark is ISM services, which isn't coming out to the after report. So looking at this, do you think the NFP number is going to be stronger or weaker? Take a wild guess. Just say up or down. Based upon this, what I call the leading indicators of NFPs, say up or down. Weaker from another mutant, always the first to respond. Roger also saying weaker. And yet, something very important is happening. I agree. Non-farm payrolls will probably be weaker. I agree that the economists are probably predicting that that non-farm payrolls will be down. But what is the U.S. dollar doing today? What is the U.S. dollar doing today? My right-hand corner is my watch list. The U.S. dollar is up. Yes, exactly. Or U.S. dollar is up against the yen. It is up against the euro. It is up against the Swiss franc. It is not up against the Canadian dollar or the British pound, but it's up against the the Australian dollar, and it is up against the New Zealand dollar. Why in the world is the dollar up when all these things say it's mostly going to be weaker, and the economists say it's mostly going to be weaker? Now, whenever we trade, and if you ever join me for the Monday live stream, or if you're a member of BK, I talk about how fundamentals are important, technicals are important, but nothing is more important than sentiment. And so whenever we trade, we always want to be aligned with sentiment. So the sentiment today is not dollar bearish. It is dollar bullish. And in fact, it's dollar bullish after a pretty horrendous ADP report yesterday. And part of that is because of this. CME Fed Fund Futures. The market is pricing in right now. Current interest rates are 4.25%, 4.5%. CME Fed Fund Futures shows what the market is pricing in. So the market is pricing in only a 25% chance of an interest rate cut. Let me just make sure I refresh this. Make sure I have the latest one. The market is pricing in a 23% chance of an interest rate cut this month by the Fed. Yesterday, it was pretty much the same. Yesterday is pretty much the same. At last week, it was slightly lower. So if you think about it, even though we had a pretty horrendous ADP report, this has not at all changed how the market feels about whether or not the Federal Reserve should cut interest rates. So this is playing a large role in this. Now, normally I say that I don't trade non-farm payrolls proactively, meaning that I always like to trade non-farm payrolls after the data. And that is truly the wisest decision. But yesterday, I'm not going to bring it up because I'm going to have to look for it. But yesterday, last night, President Trump said that Fed Chairman Powell should resign now. And some people believe that his comment that Fed Chairman should resign now is because maybe he saw the really ugly non-farm payrolls report. And if he saw the really ugly non-farm payrolls report, maybe that's his reason for saying that the Fed chair should resign now. That's, of course, a speculation. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if he really did see it. I think he probably may have seen it in advance. I wouldn't be surprised if he got in touch with the information. So we could see an initial drop. If that is true and the speculation is true, that maybe he saw the NFP report in advance. Maybe a proactive trade on shorting dollars could be the right one. because it is because there could be something that we don't know. But let's talk about a game plan in general. So I'm going to look at the euro dollar chart. I don't think I'm really going to trade the dollar yen, but we'll see. Okay. So right now, the weakest currencies you can see are Aussie and Kiwi. They're down 0.18% and Kiwi is down 0.4%. So if we have a stronger NFP number, we'll talk about more about this later, but I'm going to sell Aussie and sell Kiwi and maybe sell Euro. Sorry about that. I'm going to drink some water. If we have a weaker NFP number, Euro is going to move regardless, but I definitely think that pound dollar is going to benefit. It is the strongest currency today, or it's one that, it's still in the sell zone, but it's one of the strongest currencies today. I think dollar CAD is going to fall, and I think euro dollar is going to rally. So it's going to be, and we'll go through, I'll talk about this later again after we put on our trades. And I'll explain that later. But this is the game plan. And so what I'm going to do, we've got 2 minutes. I can't copy it, but maybe I'll save it if I go like this. Yes, it does save it. So I'm going to move this over here. I'm going to move, we're going to look at euro dollar. So we're laying out our game plan. Kiwi is going to be over here. Oops, sorry. Kiwi is going to be over here. I'm going to put dollar CAD over here. So maybe you want to take a small euro dollar long. Sorry, at 117.88. I want to hide the current comment. Just if you want to have a Trump bet, 117.88 could be just to see whether or not you think he had access to the data before it was released. That might be a good idea. But when we trade, we do 20 pip stop, 20 pip target for our news trades. So for those of you that, want to trade Trump, I think that maybe he did get a clue into the data. If that's the case, then euro dollar could work, but we'll see. Boris will trade gold later. Okay. He's going to trade gold and indices later. We're going to focus on Forex right now. I have $2 catch-ups. Thank you so much, Mark. You're my MVP today. So, and the Aussie looks like it's zipping up, but euro's going to react regardless. So, and dollar yen, of course, but dollar yen is really hyper volatile, and it could move. I'm going to leave that there and see, but dollar yen could very much move as well. I'll leave dollar yen too, because dollar yen is definitely interesting. All right, very close to the data now. And we'll see it in the price action. Boris will re-stream it out to us because, I'm not going to put it on a different screen.
Yeah, I'm just watching to see when the calendar prints.
It must be a very strong number. So the strong number, we're going to sell Aussies, 65, let's see, 52, sell euro dollar.
147 against 110. Non-farm is 147.
Okay, so we sold Aussie out at 52, and this at 43. I'm going to close Aussie dollar at 39, and euro dollar 20. We've sold at 42, so we're going to close it here for another 15 pips. They're all going down. Remember, tomorrow's a holiday, so we're going to have a retracement. So you'll have the opportunity to sell at a higher level. So we sold Aussie. Our game plan is sell Aussie, sell euro dollar. So we sold Aussie at 53, this at 43, and got like 10, 15 pips on both. If you were watching the trades. Okay, how bad was the number? Let's see.
It's not bad, but it's not great either. I think as I'm looking at the number
233, so that's jobless claims. 147, okay, not bad. Where's the unemployment rate? The unemployment rate, average hourly unemployment rate is 4.1. That's a really nice improvement. Where's average hourly earnings, Boris? 0.2. So earnings was weaker. Okay, that was bad. The unemployment rate was really good, actually. And the NFP number wasn't terrible.
Private payrolls were weaker. There were 74.
What's the revision? Revised 144 here. This is everything we need. News squawk, which is basically tells us that NFP was stronger, upward revision, better unemployment rate, weaker earnings. Let's get back to our chart. So I still think that there's downside here, but we hopefully caught 10, 15 pips in Aussie dollar, hopefully caught 10, 15 pips in euro dollar. I know it was very fast, but we had our game plan. Stronger NFP number, jump in Aussie, jump in Kiwi, jump in euro. All of them worked for at least 20 pips. Now, why did I pick these pairs? I picked these pairs because they were weak already. Now, granted, everything would have worked, but smart trading involves pairing strong with weak. And I think that, I'm going to see if euro dollar, I think euro dollar might go to 117 even. So, euro dollar is going to go to 117 even. There's no support there. So I think if you get a chance to sell around 20, 25 for the euro dollar, ideally 20. Ooh, look at that. 25. There you go. Sell 25. I think it's going to go down to 117 or at 117.05 with the target in the euro dollar. But we had our game plan of selling Aussie, selling Kiwi, selling euro off the stronger number. And we sold Aussie at 65.53, which was when I called it out. Euro dollar at 17.40 change. Definitely both went down, 20 pips. Kiwi still would have worked as well, but you could only spread your focus to so many pairs. And so pretty much it's a correlated trade. So we just went into these trades. Dollar yen is squeezing, short squeeze. Short squeeze could be quite strong up to high at 145. What is this high? 145.35 at least. So I think, dollar yen could short squeeze. Dollar's been so oversold. I definitely think dollar yen could short squeeze to 145.35. Oops, sorry. Short squeeze, that's what I'm looking for. And then I think that euro dollar is going to go down to 117 figure. But remember, tomorrow's a holiday in the US, which is why non-farm payrolls are being released early. That is also why there's a good reason why US traders, they could close up their books shortly after the New York Open for the equity market. They'll lay on some initial trades, which Boris will trade with you. And they'll, probably close up their books and then early. So I think definitely by 11 or 12, everyone's pretty much going to be done. And they're just going to head out for their long weekend. So that's why I'm not really going to jump into more trades. I laid out the game plan for you. We spent a long time laying out the ideas, selecting our trades based upon stronger versus weaker. The proactive trade was a wrong decision. I guess Trump didn't see the numbers. It must have been related to some other comment he had, which is fine. Because the smartest move is always, is what we do all the time, which is we trade non-farm payrolls reactively after the number is released. We get in after the number is released, and we lay out a game plan so that when the number is released, we're immediately ready to hit sell. We're immediately ready to get in this case, sell Aussie, sell euro dollar. And then, we'll see if there's continuation. Normally Fridays after NFPs, there's quite a bit of continuation. But as I said, this is July 4th. So I still think you're going to get these moves here that I'm watching for. But I personally am not going to reload. We got, at least, 15, 20 pips. I got 20 pips in Aussie, 20 pips in euro, and, put you into the right trades. Now, if you want to use your own technicals to figure out, where is the right level to get in, you may not know that I love moving averages. So, we're obviously pretty over. The move on the intraday basis is pretty oversold. I mean, euro dollar on the 1 minute chart, we don't have resistance until 70s. So we could have a little bit of a pop. This is a big move. I mean, this is like a 100 pip move in dollar yen. So we did have quite a bit of a short squeeze. I'm still looking for these moves. But like I said, personally, knowing when to trade and when not to trade is very important. I talked about that in the beginning. I knew that we were only supposed to trade reactively. And I know not to trade now because of the July 4th holiday. 10 a.m. news is also very important. ISM services coming out 10 a.m. But, NFP is the real mover. All right, questions. Boris is here. He's going to comment on gold. I'll keep an eye on these charts. But, who made money? If you made money, give me, give me a thumbs up, give me a cash face, give me something.
Give her some love. Give her a heart.
Yes,
give her
I'm
some
not
love.
I'm not gonna trade non-farm payrolls with you again if I don't see some love. I need a reinforcement. Let me know whether you made some money, whether you learned something, it was interesting to you. Let me know that you found this valuable. All right, great. Irving, Ravi, good job. I don't even know what to say. I don't 23,000. John.
Wait, Robbie, what'd you do? How'd you make 23,000? What was your trade? Tell us. People want to know. Give us a
Yes,
shout.
I want to know. Great job, Sung. 850 to me sounds much more modest, much more realistic. And same thing with John, trading, taking every trade as methodically as possible. Martin, we make money trading NFPs pretty much every single month. Knock on wood. I can't say that, all the time, but we've been doing well. 14K and counting. Wow, Boris, we should be publishing these results. These people
I know. On a 100K account. What do you
on NFPs?
Just trade. What instrument? What size? Just type it in. Let us know what you were doing. We're curious. So a lot of people made big bank today.
Ravi, who made 23,000, traded just Eurodollar and sold Eurodollar. I hope Ravi.
He must have sold a lot of Eurodollar.
But I hope Ravi, sitting with me and coming up and understanding, let me know the trading plan and gave you more confidence in understanding what type of trades to take. I hope that, it benefited you in that way. Great. This is amazing, guys. I love to see that. And we trade every single day. So make sure, Boris, if you don't pop in our free community,
let me do that.
Send them the link for our free community. What you do is you just go to, Boris is going to share the link, but it's bit.ly/join BK Traders. Absolutely free. Get instant access. Fill out this information. And what's really good place to start over the long weekend is we've got a Forex starter course. And we also have trading resources that talks about trading news and things like that. You see, Boris, it takes, telling you, sometimes it takes a while to load. Maybe you want to show your screen. There we go. So how to enter trade, how to not enter trade, learn more about the zip.
Just patience, but then she has no patience herself. That's the way. That's the
it's
trading
true.
player.
When it comes to trading, I have patience. But when it comes to apps and pages loading, I have no patience.
There's no patience.
And see, I'm going to complain to him. He says it's my computer. I don't think we'll see. Anyway, but refresh.
I don't know what you're trying to pull, Kay.
I'm just trying to pull the resources, just different things. But anyway, there's a lot of great resources. Okay. Sometimes it's a little sluggish, but there you go.
No, you guys, any issues, you guys just come to me and I'll help you out, find anything you need in our community.
Honestly, if you refresh your screen, it's going to come up. But real time risk on, risk off cheat sheet, which is very important. Lots of really, really great stuff here, my friends. So make sure you join the trading community. It's completely free. And lots of valuable resources there. Make sure you join the community.
So, Kay, go ahead. Sorry, I was going to. I'm just the reason how these guys made so much money. Just traded 19 lots, $2 million. Is that right? It'd be about $2 million worth of dollar yen on that non-farm payrolls, and I think you banked about 20,000 already. Not bad for a minute's worth of work. Not bad.
Well, I also hope Just Trade, like I said to Ravi, I hope that, methodically talking through the game plan helps you make that money, helps you in your trading decision today. And that's what we do every day. As a member of BK, if you're a paid member, we do the VIP training every single week. And then also, we have our fundamentals trading course. If you want to learn more, not the heat map, but if you want to learn more on how to trade fundamentals and kind of get into my mindset, you can take the fundamentals Forex fundamentals trading course. Lots of really, really great stuff that you can maybe use your time wisely during the July 4th holiday when everyone is off, and either join the free community, go through our free courses, or take the Forex fundamentals course. But one way or other, I'm so happy to see you guys made money today. And I hope that me laying out the game plan for you, also explaining to you that, tomorrow is July 4th. So so oftentimes if you trade long-farm payrolls with me, you'll know that I reload. I'll get back in. But today, I'm not. I'm not getting back in. And I'm explaining to you that I'm not getting back in because of the holiday. So all of these, I hope, are little nuggets that I think, I hope that you will take away from knowing when to trade, knowing when not to trade, knowing when to lay out your trading plan, and knowing when to step away. So that is my tidbits for you today. All right, questions before.
There's a really good comment from Pharma, with whom I totally agree, that the data, I think, is skewed a little bit, to be honest. There's two factors, in my opinion, macro-wise, that's going on. Number one, people continue to underestimate the power of Trump's immigration policies on employment data. The very fact that we're now having a lot more open jobs for less people competing for those jobs will inevitably create more surprise than anybody believes. It's been the truest story of the whole year. Experts have all been wrong. Continue to bet on the fact that they see layoffs, they think it's going to be a contraction. You don't understand that on the blue collar front of it, it's much, much stronger than people believe. In fact, blue collar wages are up the biggest amount in 30 years, 1.7%, and that is running the strength. But also, the thing that you need to remember is that this number actually had a very large government jump. The private payrolls were not that good. So I think that's a pretty good analysis. It's not nearly as bullish as everybody thinks it is, but so we may see a little bit of a recovery a little bit later. But for now, obviously, very strong dollar, very negative gold, very positive.
Yeah, I mean, Google announced that they're laying off 9,000 workers, and from their Xbox division. Because those Xbox games can now be created with AI now. And I think that's going to be indicative of many, many industries. So, it's definitely more to come.
All right, guys, I'm going to put up my coaching link in case you really to really get the 300.
That's more than coaching, right? That's like
right. Well, I'm getting to my pitch here. To really get the whole 360-degree view of everything that we do, from Kathy's incredible focus on fundamentals and Forex to us being able to pass the prop tests all the time. You need to go to our, let me just pull this up, this webpage. Hang on a second. I don't know if I can, I got to put it up in my thing. Oh, wait, hold on.
I'm going to steal the screen for just 1 second. I want to point this out. You see how Aussie is weaker than Euro? Aussie is now dropping more to the bottom and weaker, and Euro is holding better. This is strong versus weak in action. Aussie, and that's why Aussie was number one on our list. Aussie was weaker than Euro to begin with. So therefore, it's having a trouble to rebound more. And so, strong versus weak, which is something I talk about all the time, is very, very important.
Yeah.
So on a micro scale.
Can you talk a little, or if you want me to, I'm happy to talk about why is Aussie weaker than Euro? This is a really, really interesting combination of macro, which is what Kathy does, and fundamentals and technicals. The story here is basically that people are underestimating how bad China is doing. China is at the death's door at this point. You don't understand how bad the economy is. 25% youth unemployment in China. They have zero growth, deflation. That is horrible, Aussie. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Australia lives and breathes off of China. And Europe, on the other hand, while not doing great, is just doing relatively better. So, even in this particular format where the dollar is rallying, the question is, what's the dollar going to rally most against? The Aussie, not the Euro. Euro Aussie to the upside could be an interesting trade for the rest of the day.
I think there's a more obvious reason, and has nothing to do with China, or maybe has a little to do with China, but the more obvious reason is the market's pricing in a 100% chance of an interest rate cut from the Reserve Bank of Australia next week.
Why is the rate cut happening? Because they're dying. That's my.
Even if you don't follow the macro story, you just follow the calendar on what's coming up, and your events. The point I want to get is that you don't have to be. Maybe you want to aspire to understand the global economy as well as Boris and I. But if you simply look at the calendar and say what's coming up, and next week we have the Reserve Bank of Australia rate decision. And they are the only major central bank set to cut interest rates this month. and the odds has shifted from 60 to 100% over the past month. That alone, and I didn't mention it because, it's in the back of my mind, and but it is single-handedly the reason why Aussie is so weak, because they are setting up for an interest rate cut next week, and the only one to do so. Look at dollar yen, short squeezing. 25, don't be greedy. If it goes to 25, 35 is resistance. Don't be greedy if it goes to 25, or even now it's at 20. Take your profits. It's a huge move. Went down to, we were looking at it when it was at 144.90-ish. Now it's at 145.20-ish. So yes, we've got the holiday. I did not reload, but we've got the holiday tomorrow. But it's still doing what it's supposed to be doing, which is it's short squeezing and is seeing a little bit of continuation.
Can I take the screen back now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right, so I just want to grab quick screen to you guys. We're talking about, you want to learn about macro, the best deal in the world that we have for you, which I put the link on here. It's our Trading 360. This gives you access to Kathy for full 6 months. All the trading with her, all her VIP trading in Forex, as well as all the indicators that she uses, the special indicator ZIP that she uses to help pick the trades. It gives you access to all my live trading and all the indicators that I use both on wealth charts and trading view, same indicators that help us pick all the trades we do for passing the prop. And it gives you access to my coaching, which I'm going to do tonight, even though it's going to be July 4th tomorrow. Coaching is on tonight. We're going to go through exactly how everybody in my room, or not everybody, but 7 out of 10 people in my room pass the prop. Remember, the industry average is 5%. We are 20 times more effective at getting you to get funded than anybody out there, because we have an incredibly methodical approach. So all of this is great, but as I always do, I'm going to sweeten the pot for you today, as always. If you do if you decide to sign up for coaching, I'm actually going to buy you, because our friends at Apex are giving such huge discounts. I'm going to buy you not 1, not 2, but 3 Apex accounts as a result of you getting it. So not only are you going to get the coaching, but get all of our Apex, get 3 free Apex accounts to start with, so you can able to just to prop trade with me. So hopefully you guys like this deal. The link is, again, right over here. Just simply click on it, sign up, and I'll set you up before the day is over, and you'll be ready to go for coaching and everything else.
Okay, so who is ready to trade gold and NASDAQ? Raise your hand if you're ready to trade gold and NASDAQ. Now, they need to raise their hands first.
Okay. All right.
Ready to go. Very good question.
I'll be right back, guys. I'll be right back.
Griswold, very good question. How many pairs do successful traders focus on? This is the $1 million question. I speak to a lot of successful traders, prop traders, regular traders, and I can tell you that these traders, the ones that are truly successful, they honestly just trade one instrument. They either become the master of trading gold, or they become the master of trading NASDAQ, or they become the master of trading Eurodollar. The ones that trade all Forex is a little bit more tricky, but really they become the master of one instrument. And if you think about it, it makes sense, right? They become the master so much to the degree that that they can get a good feel of how it moves inside and out. And so as soon as they turn on the trading system, they're ready to go. They know exactly how it behaves. And that's really the way, you should think, which is, there's a lot to trade, but you want to become the master of one, not the, what's the phrase, Boris? The master of one.
The jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah.
I missed your answer. How many pairs do how many?
He said, what do successful traders do? I said, you should trade one instrument. And that's it, because that's what the truly successful traders do. Master of gold, master of NASDAQ, master of Eurodollar.
Right, it's true. Guys, I trade NASDAQ and gold with you because I'm kind of forced to, because everybody wants to trade both instruments, and I think 2 is maximum you want to stretch yourself. But especially the way we're trading, where we're focusing on the markets very, very intensely, it's really, really valuable to just trade one. Right.
I think 2 is probably like we did today. We only really took 2 trades. If we took 3, it'd be like a dispersion of focus. So, focusing on 2, I think is the best for anyone who wants a little bit more diversification. Anyway, I am going to say goodbye. I'm going to leave you in the very capable hands of Boris, who's going to live trade gold and NASDAQ with you. I am so pleased to hear that so many of you made money, and some of them, very big money, although I'm a little worried about the risk you're taking. I'm not going to call your names out, but the risk you're taking in order to make those profits scares me a little bit. But still, I'm happy that everyone made money, ending the week well. And we will be back to you on Monday. Join me for our usual Monday live stream where we learn, prepare, and plan our trades for the week, where I lay out the fundamental landscape. We talk about what's going on, and I will see you there.
Thanks, Kay. Thank you very much. Great job as always. All right, guys, let me organize myself so everybody sees everything that we're doing. Okay, you're not going to see my execution platform here. Let me see if I can get. Hang on a second. I want to get. I think I can get a different layout here where you guys can see me. This one. Oh, sorry. I'm trying to figure out where my best layout is. Let me see if this is the trading layout. No, this one. I don't know. I guess we'll do this one. All right, whatever. What I was going to say is that. Let me just take this off for a second. Why is this not? Oh, this is blocking the trading layout. Anyways, okay. Just sort of let you know. Sorry, I'm trying to make it. You know what? Let me go this way. Hang on. Let me try this way. Just 1 second. Where am I? I want to do this way. Okay, maybe I'll do it this way. Okay, I'm going to go back to my regular layout right now, but just to show you, we're trading wealth charts today in wealth charts platform. What's very, very cool about wealth charts is that the whole trading mechanism is built right into the platform. You can buy, sell right off the platform in the thing. When I put the Apex banner on, it's going to be hidden, but I'll be able to obviously trade it and see it on my chart. It's a platform that we really like trading. We've been trading it a lot lately. If you guys want to get the Apex discounts, all you got to do is go to the Apex website. Just simply log in right over here. I'll log in through our corporate address. Doesn't matter. Just to show you how to get the discounts. You want to choose either Tradeovate. These are the two things I recommend. The two platforms I recommend are either Tradeovate or Wealth Charts. Wealth Charts is the one that we're using now because I think it's really, really well integrated. Both of those platforms, either one of those platforms, have my indicator not built into it, but available on it if you become a coaching member. So step number one, become a coaching member. Step number two, go out there, buy some Apex accounts. Let's say you buy the $50,000 Wealth Charts account. Let me show you how cheap it is with the current discount. All you do is you put in BK Save right over here. You hit the check button. Next, make sure you say BK Save, right? You have to say that. What am I missing? Yeah. Save. Did I not? Next. Why is this not? What am I doing here? Oh, sorry. Never mind. I put in BK Save, but I do it through my corporate account. That's why it wasn't working. Jesus. Sorry, guys. I should have done this. All right. My whole demo got messed up. Okay. Give me a second. I'm going to have to redo this. I'm sorry. I have to redo this in a different format. All right, we'll do it later. Let's just focus on trading. I'll have to work on it later. Anyways, go out there, go buy some Apex accounts. Apex is literally $30 for a $50,000 account. Incredibly cheap. People are buying 5, 10 at a time, which is exactly what you should do. And then you have like all of these accounts, like I do, be able to trade them at very, very cheap prices. Lock it in because they're going to go away by the 8th of July. This is perfect time to buy it this weekend. And get yourself organized. Okay, who's ready to trade? Are we ready to go? Give me some yeses over here. Let me hear you guys talk. Let me go over here. Let me set my whole thing up like this. Okay. You're ready for trading, John. Andy is ready for trading. Joe Nelson is ready for trading. Max Dane is ready for trading. I want to see 3 more yeses before we start trading. Let's go. I'm going to show you. Now, I'm really going to do one thing today, guys. Hopefully, we get a chance to do it. What I'm going to do primarily is trade with trend, right? You know what the motto is before we go into the weekend? The motto is don't be a dickhead, trade with trend. That's my motto for the day. I had a long talk with Rob Hoffman yesterday, who is a great trader, but also is the owner of Wealth Charts, and he did his usual therapy on me, and he's absolutely right. Listen, virtually every trade we win on is a trend trade. It's not that counter trend trades don't work, and there's a couple of good, nice, clean counter trend trades, especially off of a really deep trend sell off, right? But that's not where the money is made. That's where the shits and giggles trades are made. The really, really, really great ability to trade is on trend. Now, Roger, you're asking a great question to which I'm going to totally disappoint you on. No, we're trading short term, super short term, 2-minute charts. We're trading 2-minute trend on the charts. Why do we do that? Because we make short, super accurate, highly effective trades and constantly build our equity higher. We grow our equity step by step by step. Now, you want to go for big trades, longer term trades, all possible. Matter of fact, it's really, really possible. Like on the 1-hour chart, I've looked at the dots indicator really well on 1-hour charts, and it works like a charm on a trend basis. But that's not what we do here, because we're not in the business of doing one trade every 10 million years. In this room, we practice very short-term trading for a couple of reasons. Number one, because people want to see trades. They don't want to hear me bullshit for 10 hours about how wonderful a human being I am and how many Lamborghinis I have. They actually want to see actual strategy and effectiveness. But most importantly, because if you do lots of short-term trades, you're going to get good at trading, and then you can drive long-term, Like, it's like anything else. If you want to learn a skill, you got to do it 1,000 times. And then if you want to do it one time every year after that, you'll be fine. But, if you want to make really, really good recipes, you got to do them at least 20 times in a row before you know how to do them well, right? So I'm a huge believer in doing short-term trading for a whole bunch of reasons: low risk, low control. It's also very much my personality, so on and so forth. But more importantly, I'm a huge believer in having it do it for you. Because the more you practice these short-term setups, you are going to you're going to be able to truly master the skill of what we do. And what is it that we do? I'm going to explain to you right now, very, very simply. We trade continuity, which is a very fancy word of saying when something goes up, we think it's going to go up higher. When something goes down, we think it's going to go. We basically look for continuity of price rather than reversal of price. There's only 2 ways to trade price: continuity and reversal. There's only 2 bets you ever make in the market. It either goes up or it goes down, right? All the option traders who tell me that unless it stays the same, I understand that, but we're going to remove the third option off the table for now. For directional traders, there's only 2 things that prices do: they either reverse or they continue in the direction that they go. And the way we amplify our odds, trade the dots, beat the odds. What do we try and do? I just want to see what's going on in NASDAQ, because NASDAQ. Let's look at a classic setup that I want to do. I want to trade with trend. Trend, first step of trend is blue above red. Long-term moving average 200. By the way, it's super flat on the 200. You see the market really was just super flat today, right? Short-term moving average is 8. 8 above 200, that's trend up, okay? That's step number 1. Step number 2, momentum. Momentum is defined by green dots. Do I have a green dot? That's positive momentum. That's great. Step number 3, higher dots. Is the dot higher than the prior? Yes, I have positive slope. That means I have positive movement in momentum. Momentum is not only just rising, but it's rising higher. And then the very, very important last step, let me see if I can get a little bit bigger here. Let's look at our little blue line. Is it starting to curl up? We want to follow the blue line. Anybody use Google Maps? Anybody use Google Maps? So in Google Maps, you know how like they have like the blue, which I always look at instructions. I never look at the blue line. My son, of course, who's like, you know, a typical Gen Z illiterate millennial, you know, kid who never reads a word in his life, goes, oh, you just follow the blue dot. So we're going to go long now here. So now we have all four components of our trade. Green dots, positive trend, blue line curling up in a direction. We're going to trade to 22, 9, 11, 25. Let's see if the trade works for us. Let's see if this is going to work. So we're looking for 22, 11, 25. These are all four components that that we take. And let's see if it can hit the target here. Limit order filled, trade done. Okay? Nothing more complicated than that. A bread and butter trade, which is what we're going to try and focus on all day, every day, if we can. The only other component that I left out of the equation, yeah, ISM services is important, but it's not, we're not going to stop trading until about 9:45, and then at 9:45, we'll stop. Trey says, buy another Lambo. Yeah, that's it. You know what I need? I need a, this is the Lambo I'm going to buy. Let me find it for a second. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can get this. This is the only Lambo that I'm going to be able to get. Here we go. Hang on. Let me take this. Here we go. Yeah. This is my Lambo. This is my Lambo, guys. That trade deserved the Lambo. There we go. That's the Lambo that we get. The real traders drive these kind of Lambos. Fake traders, rent out bullshit Lambos. So that's the Lambo we get for the trade we just did. Okay, very nice. There's a question here. What was this? Somebody had a question here. Hang on a second. It was an interesting question, actually. Amelia says, why do most traders I speak to say they don't rely on trading? If you want to become a full trader, is it because it's not sugar? Because it's very, very hard to do nothing but trading. And I'm an adamant believer that that's a difficult, very, very difficult road to hoe. Trading should be a great side gig. If trading is a side gig, it's super easy. It makes it gives you the opportunity to try to make money any time of the day, any time of the night, any time at your convenience. Especially the way we trade, where any of these setups happen all the time, at least 3 times an hour, any hour of the day, right? We have an opportunity to have a potential setup like this. So imagine us having a side gig that you could practice any time of the day, any time of the night at your convenience and have a reasonable chance to get additional cash. If you look at trading that way, you are in great shape. If you look at it as like, I got to make my mortgage today on this one particular trade, you are guaranteed to have your brains blown out. You cannot trade under pressure because the pressure will always blow you up. Everybody like my little Lambo. So does that answer your question, Amelia? It's a great side gig business. Not so good. Okay, so I love gold because gold is everybody's favorite V-shaped instrument. What I mean by a V-shaped instrument is that we'll get a big move and then we kind of get a really sharp counter move. But eventually, we're going to see if gold is going to resume. Gold dropped like how many points? Like 40 points, 61. Yeah, almost 40 points off the strong NFP news. Now it's doing a recovery. Is this a half-ass recovery, or is it shrugging off? We'll see. The beautiful thing about our setup, especially if we're trading trend, is unless it really starts to turn down, unless this blue line starts turning down, we're really not going to have a setup. So we're not going to be hopefully get caught in a false decline. But if this resumes its decline, it's going to give us all the elements of a proper trend trade to the downside, and then we'll take that trade. For now, Nasdaq, S&P all continue to trade positively, above the line, and that's where we kind of want to stay. I have one account. We still have this one account that is our counter trend account 109. And if I get counter trend trades, we'll take it in that account. But it's really, it's just really, those are for shits and giggles. Yes, John makes a really good point. The market could care less about your mortgage payment, your target price, your desires. Remember, it's a competitive marketplace where your feelings don't count, right? I mean, if there's ever the ultimate fuck your feelings place, it's the market, right? I think that's probably why we have like a love-hate relationship with it. It wasn't, but doesn't mommy love me? I did all the right things. I traded correctly. I followed my rules. Why doesn't mommy love me, right? How many times do we all cry like that, like little kids? But the market is literally the ultimate, fuck your feelings place, and it couldn't care less about what you want. It only cares about what it wants. And your job is not to force it to care about what you want. Your job is to understand what it is doing. That's the thing. That's the hardest lesson I constantly have to learn myself. So hopefully you guys agree with me on that. And hopefully, I'm sure some of you have experienced that yourself, right? Am I still trading agent? No, not for right now. I got really, really sick. I need to recover. Asia's on hold for the time being. So we're just going to trade New York for a little bit, focus on that time. I will be doing once a month, absolutely free, and it's going to be coming up not next weekend or not this weekend, but the weekend after this, after July 4th weekend, instructional webinars on my system, on my tools. And, if you're interested, join our community, because the link will be posted over there. It'll be on a Saturday, really relaxed hour and a half session where nobody's going to be in a rush. And we're going to be able to really, really go through all of the techniques and lessons and tools that I use. So we're gonna focus more on educational webinars, because you want to see trading. You're going to see trading every day with me in New York. You can take all those ideas to Asia just as easily. We got 20 minutes to the open. Let's just see what people are saying about the. Let me just switch over to just watch. I just want to watch gold for a second here. So, where's gold now? Down, typical retrace leg up, right? We didn't trade the counter. I specifically didn't trade the counter trend leg, not because I couldn't, but because I really wanted to start the day with a trend trade. I want to do the proper trade with you. It doesn't, like as I said to you guys, the purpose of live trading is for me to teach you best practices, not for me to jack off and do 1,000 trades just on vibes, right? When you trade on vibes, you get the New York mayoral race. I apparently everybody who's young decided to vote for the communist because of vibes, without ever actually living in a communist country and understanding what kind of a tragedy it is to have a communist as a mayor. So that's the same thing in the market. You can't, no more trading on vibes. We got to trade on things that work. Real businesses, real men, real women, real adults, don't make their decisions on vibes. So trading against trend is kind of really trading on vibes. It's the communism of trading. Counter trend trading is the communism of trading. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Anyways, yeah, you can see even any East European will tell you there's no more greater evil than communism. And to have the shit happen to us in New York right now is real tragedy. Anyways, I don't want to get into a pulpit. The point being is I want to do the good trades. So let's look at what's going on right now in gold. Gold is negative trend, blue below red. Say that 3 times fast. First momentum dot here, second momentum dot here, and then the final component that I would need to see to give myself a little bit of confidence that this is going to be a viable trend trade is I need the blue line to start curling down. I really want to see it start turning negative, because if the slope of the short term moves negative, that tells me the market direction may finally be changing. Yes, that's very much true, John. I do that setup happens over and over and over again. It's exactly the setup that we did. I just, I didn't want to. There's a lot of new people in the room. By the way, who's new in the room here? We got a lot of new people here. Say hello to me. Everybody who's never traded with me, who's never seen us trade live, do this stuff in real time. Say hello to me. I want to know what you're doing, what you've traded, where you're from. Put them all up there into chat. I want to say hi to you. So I got 55 seconds left. I'm waiting for the candle to close. Blue is turning a little bit lower. I need to have the dot. If the dot isn't there, that means there's no momentum. I got no trade. So I really want all these 4 components of a setup in order for me to have a modicum of confidence that this could be a good trade. Hey, Payment, how are you? Where are you from, my friend? Trav, you're new. Nice to have you. Where are you from? Tell me where you're from. California. Nice. That was the last place in the world I would have guessed, Payment, by the way. Wait, Payment, are you from LA? Is that a Persian name? Oh, look at this. Prasek, you are in the right place. This gentleman, if you're a trade addict, you are in my room. We're, we are all about the 12-step program, I am Boris and I am a trade addict. Yes, I am. Everybody in this room is a trade addict. I really need to actually rename our room Trade Addicts United. That's what we are. But yes, now we're getting a little bit longer. Now near San Diego? Okay, nice. Oh, Amelia, what prop challenges are you doing? Are you trading with our friends at Apex? Go out there and get some accounts. Exactly, man. We're all trade addicts. I think I need to rebrand our room. We need to call it, Trade Addicts United. BK Traders. That's going to be in the merch. I've been trying to figure out what kind of merch we need. I want to create like a merch store that, where all the money can go to a couple of good charities. But I want it to be fun merch, So maybe like Trade Addicts United would be a good subtitle for us on BK Traders. Let me know if you guys think about that. Yes. Next week, Andy, I'll put up the DNA prop stuff. Yes. Oh, there's Zoltan, right? Escape from Yugoslavia. Okay, let's hear from all the anti-communists. Thank God. Thank God. It always amazes me. Like, what I always say is any American that wants communism, I'm happy to export them to an ex-communist country and then bring somebody from that country to be part of America. It'll be the best trade you've ever seen in your life. Okay, gold is actually giving us a counter trend trade. This is a pretty bullish setup, in my opinion. We have the counter trend account. I said I wasn't going to do counter trends until we've actually done a good trend trade, which I did with NASDAQ. But now, we're waiting for a trend trade. Trend is really not resuming. Counter trend is really taking shape. Look, everything is happening here. We have the green dots suggesting momentum up. The blue line keeps curling up, right? Everything wants to go up higher. So we're going to go to our counter trend account 109 and switch it around and wait until the candle closes. And I'm going to try to go long gold, and we'll see if gold actually shows some recovery mechanism. But this is assuming the green dot holds, because, as you can see, the market can tease you quite a lot. Oh man, I love like, so great. I love so many immigrants in this group who are in America, really appreciating how good this country is. It really is. I'm telling you, everybody who's a natural born American, you ungrateful little bastards if you don't like this country. Really, try to live somewhere else. It's not that this country doesn't have problems, but they are minuscule relative to everywhere else. Yeah, it's true. Everybody says yes. I think all the polls. Poland, by the way, Poland is an amazing country. In one generation, Poland has 9 times its GDP, and now has a GDP of Japan, which is really amazing if you think about that. Like, that's what happens when you have incredibly dedicated people go from communism to capitalism. That's the power of what can happen. All right, I'm riffing on politics because nothing else is going on in the marketplace. Okay, here we go. Let's take a look at this. NASDAQ is negative. It's a counter trend trade. Do we take this? Okay, we'll do it for shits and giggles. Just for shits and giggles, small size. If this does not work, the next 2 repair trades are going to be in trend only. This wasn't a great trade. Again, I've taken it just for shits and giggles because I got nothing else to do. But at least it's a more or less legitimate setup. And it's not even that legitimate a setup as I look at this. I rushed the trade a little bit. I'll tell you why. There was 2 out of 3 elements in this particular setup. Let me get a little bit bigger, that in our favor, but not all 3. The one thing that's missing from making this trade a decent counter trend short is that the blue line is not even tilting downward. You see that? I need the blue line to tilt downward. Now, I may have gotten lucky and maybe this thing is going to press to the downside, but it's not a great trade. The only saving grace, it's not even a saving grace, it's just the defense mechanism that I use, is we're using very small size as our opening gambit. So that if we're wrong on the first trade, we have the opportunity to repair and make money on the second trade and even the third trade out. Right, so we have a chance to always recapture and make more money. But really, the signal to the counter trend side probably would have been if it's not even happening here. But the signal would have been only if this candle really went negative, and it hasn't. So far, it hasn't. Let's just it's not a great. So just this is not even a good counter trend signal. If this is a perfect example. If I make money on this trade, this is pure luck, right? Whereas the other trade was pretty much skill. So that if you win on a bad trade, it's luck. Let's see what gold is doing. Gold is legitimately giving me a decent counter trend trade move because the blue line continues to go up. So I will take this on the reversal if this stays green. If this stays green here, but if it doesn't, it doesn't. Let's go back to NASDAQ. NASDAQ's doing nothing, man. Have you ever been to Australia? Yes, ma'am, many times. Going back in November. both Sydney and Melbourne, but last two times I've been in Melbourne. Wally's asking me, how do you switch from one instrument to another? I open up two tabs. I have two tabs open. Okay. Look at my NASDAQ. And now I'm going to eating my NASDAQ short. Where's my, okay, here's gold. Looking at gold, 25 seconds, possible setup. This stays green. It's a counter trend setup. 3 out of 4 things in our favor. Blue up, dots there, dots one higher than the other. Slope on the dots. The short-term moving average pointing either flat to up, and now it goes away. Now trade goes away. No signal on gold. There you go. Oh, nope, we got it. All right, let's play it. Okay, we got the dot came in at the last second. We're trading 42.6 is my target on gold. Counter trend trade, but at least a decent counter trend trade. Not a horrendously still not as good a trade as a trend trade, but at least legitimate 3 out of 4 elements in our favor, worth a shot for us to take this trade. In the meantime, I'm eating dust on my thing. And actually, I'm going to flip over because now I have a trend trade going on here. Look at this. Look at this. Now, this is a legitimate trend trade. This is where I should have been waiting on. If this thing stays with a green dot, I'm going to literally close this and reverse. I'm just going to reverse. The cool thing in wealth charts, I can literally hit the reverse button and change my trade the other way, because this is a legitimate trend trade, right? Now, whether it works or not is immaterial. It's a legitimate trend trade. Everything here is setting up for a possible trend move here. Really stupid of me to actually take in this counter trend, but we're gonna watch us try to repair this. So that was gold. Gold got done off screen. I don't know if you guys heard. Did you hear? Limit order filled. That was gold. I'll show you how gold got done. But I want to watch this NASDAQ trade, because if NASDAQ trade stays like this, we want to be in this trade. I'm probably going to get stopped out anyway, so it doesn't matter. If I get stopped out, you know what? I'm just going to flatten. Forget it. I'm going to clean myself up. I'm going to flatten myself up. I'm going to give myself 3, 2, 1. Okay. Oh, no. Oh, God. Flatten. I went the wrong way. Buy. Okay, sorry. I'm long. Okay, I'm long this one. Target is 930.50 on this trade. 930.50. Let's see if I'm right. To stick to my trend condition. But even if I'm not, it's fine, because that's a legitimate trade. Meantime, let's take a look at what the gold trade. See the gold trade? I said to you that was a good gold trade. It had all the proper elements, at least of a counter trend setup. Everything was on our side. The 2 green dots were one against the other. The blue was sloping upward. We had momentum. Everything worked fine, and this was a nice, clean $1 win in gold. Everybody understand what I just did there in gold? Give me some yeses that you kind of understood what the gold trade did here. Okay. NASDAQ is flipping around 930.50. We got actually 5 minutes to the open, so that's it. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a push here. We'll see. Otherwise, it could be a big volatility trade, and then we'll have to repair it differently. $30, 50. Okay, we'll see how this works. All right, you know what I'm going to do, guys? I'm going to flatten this trade. I'll tell you why I flattened this trade out. I flattened this trade out not at the full profit, but at like 3/4 of profit for a couple of reasons. The sizing on this trade was improper. I got confused between which accounts I was running. I taken a counter trend trade in a trend account in my original size. So then I had to flip over to like a much larger 5 size structure for the second recovery trade. Should have never been in that position. I should have been on a single trend trade structure in that account. When I realized that, it was already kind of too late. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to, if I can repair part of this trade, great. I'm going to start fresh. So because this is an account that's only a couple $100 from funding, I want to make sure that I'm doing all the right things in this account. And I didn't want to butcher the account because I had messed up which account to which trade went to, which, you know, happens occasionally. So it's still, I think we probably looks like we might hit target anyways, but it doesn't matter. I made all the money back. There's a tiny little loss in this account right now. We'll look for more trades in that account later, but this is a trend account. I really want to make sure that I'm doing all the right trades. The bottom line is that the trend structure really was the right structure. And when I did the counter trend structure in gold, it was only when I had the absolute best probabilities on my side. So again, you can see how when you trade the dots, yeah, look at this. We would have totally, I would have made full bank on this. We went all the way to 935. Target was 930. I would have fully made it, but that's not the question. The question isn't, that you missed the trade. Always the most important thing when you're trading is not your target, it's your risk. If you did something that is unnecessarily risky for your position, and you're just hoping that it kind of works out your way, you're always in trouble. You just got to cut the risk and come back and try next time. I made a distribution error here, so I cut the risk a little bit lower. So, no biggie. We're still winning almost all of our winning all the good trades. The stupid ass counter trend trade was the only loss. But I told you that was the shits and giggles trade. Everything else is working really exactly what we wanted to do. And we got 2 minutes to start. We'll see how the markets want to trade for the rest of the morning. We got ISM at 10 o'clock. This is, by the way, the same indicator on TradingView, so you can see it works the same way. And you see me trading that on my TradingView accounts, which are my funded accounts. One of the things that we're going to do, one of the cool things about wealth charts, even starting maybe next week, is they have a built-in free trade copier, and we're going to start fooling around with propagating our trades into multiple accounts, into so that we, one single trade gives us amplitude of structure. So we'll see how trade copying works, which will be good. What's the sweat on USA Fever? Oh, because you were sweating that trade, USA Fever. You got it, baby. You made bank. Good job. Trust the dots, beat the odds, baby. That's the motto. Actually, the motto is don't be a dickhead, trade trend. I think that's going to be like, I think I'm going to make t-shirts with all these, very politically correct mottos. Trade addicts unite, BK traders. Don't be a dickhead, trade trend. And then maybe something a little more palatable, like, trade the dots, beat the odds. Because probably the only one that K will ever actually let me have as merchandise. But I'm happy to suggestions. This is usually we do this on Ask Me Anything Friday, but since Thursday is the new Friday today because of the holiday, feel free to suggest whatever you want me to do. Yes, that's actually very true. That's a really, really intelligent, nuanced point of somebody who's clearly traded a lot. That the best counter trend trades are not in a smooth roll. They're always, you have super extremes, which by their very definition need to have a little bit of a correction, right? So super strong sell-offs invite possible counter trend moves. But when you're in a smooth regime, like right now, we're in a pretty smooth. Look at that smooth regime on Nasdaq right now. Basically, here's what you need to assume, right? Until proven otherwise. This is what I mean about being an intelligent trend trader. Until proven otherwise, you have to assume we're in an uptrend for the rest of the day, right? Now, there's two ways this uptrend can go. If you make that assumption, there's two ways this assumption could play out. The assumption can play out in a truly just, straight up, thing moves up, sells off a little bit, moves up higher, makes fresher higher. We go to, 2,300, 2,400 on, or 23,000 on the NASDAQ, 23,200, a couple of hundred points, right? Yeah, we need. Joe, I'm asking for politically incorrect merchandise, taglines that you guys can suggest for me, so we can make the merchandise. But anyways, as we're looking at possible, this is what we're going to do. We're going to assume that it's trend in Nasdaq and let's say S&P until proven otherwise. And there's two situations. It's either going to make higher highs or it's just going to just gradually be even. And if it's even, if it makes higher highs, it's going to be relatively simple for us to gauge it. We're going to come back down below the 8, come back up, we're going to buy it. If it's flat, the 8 is going to flatten out, maybe even come down a little bit, but then re-strengthen and kind of just hold around this 23,000. Regardless of how it's doing it, we're going to look primarily for buy opportunities as long as they meet all our criteria. And remember, they won't be trades until they do meet our criteria. So you're going to have to see some evidence and chart vision of upward mobility before we can take any trades. So we're not going to take any long trades if this thing starts to plummet like a stone anyways, because we're not going to get any signals. That's the beauty of our dot structure. It only lets you take trades when there is good evidence that price is actually going to do what it's showing you that it's going to do, right? But for now, like if you make that assumption until proven otherwise, that's the easiest trade to make. Whereas, me and everybody else who loves to just be an inveterate trend picker is like, oh, this is the pop. It's going to come back down 10 points. Let's short the pop. Let's short the pop, right? Like a puppy running after a car. Let me grab a couple of points. And that's always a road to perdition. That's always a road to ruin, because the market is just playing with you. It's like, oh yeah, go ahead, sure, short me at the top, and then I'm going to rip your face out by running higher. Again, the market is showing you what it wants to do, right? And you want to, as I said, the game is not to convince the market you're right. The game is to figure out what the market is doing. What does the blue bar? Oh, you mean when the candle turns blue? Is that what you mean, Kevin? The candle turns blue when it's crossing the moving average. I think that's where it's basically literally. The candles are green if it's above the moving average, red if it's below the moving average, and if it's literally resting on the moving average, then it's blue. Okay, the blue is just telling you that it's matching the moving average. How do you open tabs? Super easy. Just create a new tab. Here's a new tab. You go to Wealth Charts, right? Wealth Charts. Log in. Right? My login is already all, coming in. And you just choose any account you want. Doesn't matter. You can just come in. And then you're here. You're right there. You're good to go. So that's how you create new tabs, right? You know what I want to do? So we have a little bit of time. Let me show you, because I didn't show you how to get an Apex account. Let me do this again. Let's see. I think I'm gonna have to do this. Shift Control, and because I'm gonna do this in. Let me see if you guys are seeing this. Okay. So I'm going to log in here into my personal account because this will be easier. And as I said, you can either do, well, this is my recommendation, either Tradeovate, which is a very, very good platform, or Wealth Charts. Either one of them. Obviously, we're using Wealth Charts, data, so it's much better. Just simply go over here, Wealth Charts, choose BK Save, right over here. Click this, say next, and that's it. $30 for a $50,000 account, right? Just put in I'm not going to put in my credit card info, but go out there, go do it. That's all you need. Just make sure you use BK Save as our thing. Buy like 10 of these. Honestly, you will love it. You'll love it. It'll be so useful. And then you'll be able to have lots and lots of accounts. The moment you get them funded, remember, then you can actually work towards a payout, and that's really, really useful. It goes from, like, these are evaluations, and this is a funded account, CPA Apex. And as you can see that I have a ton of all of these accounts. These are all PayX accounts. These are all funded accounts that I have on TradingView. Okay, that I have in there. $940. So where are we at? Indices up. Let's take a look at gold. All right, gold, interesting. All right, where's gold for us now? Is gold exhausting its counter trend move? Let's watch this carefully. And let's see if it gives us a true trend signal, right? What do we need for trend signal? You guys type it in because it's a lot easier. It'll be, how can you open a trading account of $1,000? NAV, where are you from? Tell me what country you're from, and I'll tell you how to do it. Okay. Anyways, no, gold is really fighting the counter trend battle. Someone in the Rockies, what do you mean by dots 2? You're from London? Okay. Now, NAV, do you want to trade for yourself, or would you like to try to pass a prop trading challenge and get funded? Somewhere in the Rockies, what do you mean by dots 2? First for yourself? Okay. The broker that we very much like, and that has, by the way, a full TradingView trading platform right now, is our friends at ACAP. Let me see if I can give you, if I have the, yeah. I'm just putting a link right here. If you're in London, I think you'd be able to sign up. And even if you can't use that link, just use a different link to sign up with ACAP. You're allowed, they obviously have a London office. So just, click that link and see if you can sign up for ACAP. That'll be your best bet. 2 dots trending. Where do you see the 2 dots trending? We didn't have it. Gold just flipped around. See, gold flipped around. Oh, so, okay, here's NASDAQ. Okay, so again, do stupid tricks, win stupid prizes, right? NASDAQ is negative trend and counter trend trade. Here's the one thing so far in this chart that would absolutely stop me cold in my tracks from doing a trade. You guys want to tell me what it is? What's the one thing on this chart that does not allow us, if time was frozen, if this was the signal, why would we not do a counter trend trade on this one? And by the way, I want to go into my counter trend account. I really don't want to distribute this shit into my trend accounts. Who can tell me? Yes, the blue line is it's not even flat. The blue line is trending up. What we want it to be is flat to down or mildly down. Blue line error. Blue line error. I love that. Andy wins the prize. The blue line error. We have a blue line error, right? But that's it, right? And so we have to be super patient, because this could just be a small correction. It's like there's not enough momentum here for us to think that there's more continuity in the play. Is this platform available to people in Tanzania? It is not, my friend. It is not, my friend. But next week, I actually did test the DNA platform, and I will be able to. I will create a link for you guys, and I'll be able to share with you the DNA platform that has the exact same indicator that you guys will be able to use. So everybody who's in Africa, or Southeast Asia, where like Apex may not be a choice for you, will have a different choice for you. Absolutely. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have a good alternative for you guys. You see, by the way, look at this. Did not continue to the downside, right? Like it's not that the trade it was bad, but it's definitely not good. Like it didn't, did not give us the continuity trade here. So we held back, and there was proper hold back on Nasdaq. S&P over 6,300, really nice. So I see so many people from Africa coming into the chat room, and I'm just really curious: is prop trading really starting to take off in Africa? Is this something you guys are hearing about? It just seems like there's just this incredible nascent, groundswell of interest in prop trading in all those countries. Yeah, Evgeny, it might be. Yeah, that's right. Because you are. Yeah, because anywhere where you can't do futures, you might be able to do DNA for sure. I just have to get together with the trade locker guys. The stuff really works, but they need to walk me through so I can walk you through on how to do it properly, because I don't want to leave you in lurch of the stuff. And look, NASDAQ turning itself up, right? Like, here's the beautiful thing about how we trade. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I'm really glad we get to see this on non-farm payrolls. What you guys are seeing is that the indicator is not just good at telling you what to do, but the real value of a good indicator is telling you what not the fuck to do, what not to do, right? Keeping you out of dumbass trades is a million times more valuable than even getting you into good ones. Good trades are obvious. They're easy, they just freaking stare you in the face half the time. The bad trades really deceive you a lot. And this really has the best bullshit indicator I've seen in a long time. So, all right, good. We survived the stupid, lack of a dumbass trade. Resuming a little bit of positive trend action, but from here to there, still got a long way. In the meantime, let's take a look at gold. Gold is just a monster machine. It is a counter trend machine. Gold effectively has been a pure trend in a counter trend move here. Just a really, really clean trend trade, right? We took advantage of one. We could have taken advantage of the second one right over here. Now we're just simply, we'll wait patiently. But gold by no means is a trend resumption trade, because we got nothing on gold here. So who else is from Africa in the room here, guys? We have somebody from Tanzania. Andy's, I think, from Nigeria. Any other countries? And I don't see anybody from Asia here, man. Where's everybody from? No Singapore, no Tokyo. No Thailand? Singapore, walk in the world, Asia. Oh, there you go. As soon as I say there's no Asia representation. Lee is saying she's from Australia. That doesn't count, Lee. You're a colonizer. We don't count you. No, I'm just kidding you. I'm just kidding you. Where are you from in Australia, Lee? At least you have a sense of humor. Jesus Christ, there's some Australians that are so thin-skinned, man. There's Andres, the best master. Jamon, Andres. He comes from Spain. Oh my God, I used to go to Spain every year to Madrid. My friend David Aranzabal used to run a conference there, and there was like this little store, €5. The sandwich was literally just bread and jamon, nothing, no butter, nothing. It was the most delicious thing. We would get off the plane and just head to that store every time. So good. Queensland, nice. So what's going on? Gold still holding, counter trend trade. NASDAQ, interesting. Okay, so where are we at NASDAQ? NASDAQ may give us, let's look at this. If we get a green dot, we have positive green dots, right? Let's actually, NASDAQ is a legit trend trade. Let's do this. Buy. It's legit, but not, I would say there's a little bit of weakness on this NASDAQ signal, just because if you see the blue line, it's kind of flat, not curling up. It's clearly exhausted. If this trade doesn't work, it's perfectly normal. I'll be able to repair it on another attempt as the day goes by. But it's not a horrendous trade. It's still a trend trade with most of the elements in our favor, right? Where we have green dots, positive slope, positive trend, at least a flat to mildly upward sloping, blue line here. But clearly this is the third or the fourth trend trade, so it's always going to be the most exhausting. But let's give it a shot. Let's see. Doesn't work. I'll come back. And repair this trade on the next trend signal that I get. But you see, it's already getting. It's definitely 23,000. Lots of resist over here at this level, starting to get exhausted. Not at all unreasonable to think that this might be a pause for a while. The target here for us is 29.78, so that's what we're looking for. We'll see how that plays out. But at least it was a legitimate trade. Meantime, let me just flip over to gold, see if I can get any kind of a gold signal here yet. So no gold signal yet, nothing there. Just a reminder, guys, if you want the coaching is tonight. So here's the link again. I'm gonna put the link into the room. And take advantage of it now, because I'll be able to give you 3 free prop accounts as a result of this. So hopefully, it'll be useful for you guys. Looking for 78. Just putzing around. Gold is starting to weaken a little bit more. Okay, great question. Yes, they are. Once you sign up for the 360, you will get access to my indicators in TradingView. Correct. They look exactly the same way. This is how they look in TradingView, right? This is NASDAQ, right? In TradingView. Is this a? Oh, it's a 1 hour. I'm looking at it. I'm like, what? This looks like a 1 hour. I'm like, this does not look like the chart that I just. This. Sorry, I was the 2 minute chart. Here's NASDAQ. So this looks exactly the same way in TradingView as it does in wealth charts right over here. It looks like we just missed our target. We went to, what was my target? 77.25, and my target was like 78. So, it's not surprising that I thought it was going to be, we just missed the target by a quarter of a point. Well, it is what it is with this. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, we'll repair it a little bit later. That's the trade we make. Anyway, look. Oh, wait. Oh, I thought there was news, but I guess it's not news. It's just what the fuck happened here? Oh, that was nice. So we got ourselves done on a big burst. Did something happen? Let's see if there was news. Let's see if anything happened on the news. Oh, did they sign the bill? I don't even know. I don't even know what happened here. I don't see the headlines. Let me see. Let me refresh my Twitter. Let's see what happened. If there was any pop here. No, I guess it was just somebody just took a. I don't even know what popped this, but whatever it was, it popped us in the right direction. No, absolutely. Sorry, there's a question here on gold sells. No, absolutely not. It loves gold buys. If you look at gold, the dots love the gold. If most of the time, if you trade gold, especially if we trade gold. Oh, sorry, guys, I'm going crazy with the. I'm trying to get the. My mouse just goes nuts here. Gold is actually amazingly, like all the green. If you buy the green dots with the blue line confirm, you're doing really, really. Gold is just a beautiful long trade. Gold is generally, in my opinion, 90% of your gold trade should be to the long side. It's a massive secular bull market. Just find the spots on the 2-minute chart where everything confirms to the long side, and load up the truck, and you are fine. You're super, super good. Yeah, I guess 5 p.m. tomorrow. I don't know why the fuck that created a pop, but whatever it is, it took us out into positive territory, which is where we wanted to be. So that was good. So again, every single trend trade today worked. Every single proper trend trade worked today, right? So what's the motto? Don't be a dickhead, trade trend. That's what we're going to go away with for the holiday weekend. God bless America, and don't be a dickhead, trade trend. That's our motto for the weekend. Okay, guys? That's my story. So counter trend trade in gold worked nicely, and then we see all these trend trades in NASDAQ. All of them work beautifully, right? Boom, boom, boom. Winner, winner, winner. Chicken, chicken dinner. I think I deserve a chicken dinner today for really trying to stay with trend. Okay. It's been a really good thing for us. Oh. Okay. Everybody's done for the day. Thank you, Lee. I'm done for the day too, because I'm chock full of meetings. You're up 668, but you can buy a Happy Meal. Good job. My kids were telling me that there was like this last thing I'm going to leave you with. I thought that was like a great idea. They were telling me that there was like this restaurant that got closed in COVID, which was all they were doing was chicken fingers or chicken tenders, but dipped in all these different flavors. Like they were doing some with Rice Krispies and other stuff. And I was like, that's actually kind of a cool idea to have. Basically, that's as a baseline, and then you have all sorts of really interesting, covers on them. Like you could do Korean barbecue on them. Like serve stuff. It was a novelty food that I thought was kind of good. Somebody's asking me how to get the BK indicators in wealth charts. You do it by signing up for my coaching. You sign up for my coaching, we'll open up the BK indicators for you in wealth charts, and you will have them. Okay, so that's the simplest, easiest way. Again, the coaching is right here, guys. Where did I put this? Here's the coaching link, right? Just I'll put it again. I'll paste it in the room here. Oh, if you did, then just simply, if you already signed up for coaching, then just email me your name, your email address, and we'll set you up. We will set you up. Okay. But good job on everybody today for trading trend with me and staying on. What time do you start every day? Payment, we start trading Monday. Well, Monday, Kathy starts at 8:30, and then I take over, and like sort of like today. But our regular trading is around 9:30 to 10:30. New York Open, the first hour of New York Open. Sometimes we go like a little bit later, but basically the first hour of New York Open, right? If you are interested, always subscribe to. If you subscribe to the channel, the moment I post my live schedule, it will alert you. So the easiest way to know is that, and of course, join our community. The last thing I want to do is let me just give you the join community link. This is our free community, so all the information is there for you to do this. So you won't be this. Travis is up 2,000 pips now. Good job. Good job. To sign up, no, you don't have to do live trading with me. No, it's not a requirement. It's a feature. It's a benefit, not a requirement. The coaching is a private session with me that you guys will, when you sign up for that, that's going to happen. And if you sign up right now, you'll get the private link a little bit later, because I'll be posting it. So it's a great thing, because today is coaching night, even though it's July 4th. It's we're still going to do it. We're still going to do it. All right, guys, I got to run because the boss has got me scheduled up the ass with corporate meetings, which you can imagine how much I love. I mean, really, there's nothing in life I like more than corporate marketing meetings instead of trading with you guys every day. But that is my life. So I have to go. Everybody enjoy yourselves and have a great day. Another good day for us. We just cranked it out properly. We did all the good things as far as trades go. And I will see you guys on Monday. Okay. And I'll see you guys in coaching if you guys see me later today. Thank you. Everybody take care.